So let's just say all of us are at a picnic and we're having a great time. We're at the picnic and we're eating and we're dancing and we're having a good time, and we look over in the river and there is a baby floating in the river. So one of us is wise enough to go over and pull that baby out of the river and save that baby. We look over again, there are more babies in the river. So we organize, we start pulling the babies out of the river, and they just keep coming and they keep coming. And finally somebody in our group says, whoa, I'm going upriver and I'm going to find out why there are babies in the river. And that's what this is about. Because poverty continues, we continue to do our home visits, we continue to do our food pantries, we continue, but it doesn't stop. And that's what we need to talk about. What is happening at a different level? What are policies? What are systems that are in place? There's plenty of food in the world, right? There's plenty of money in the world. There's plenty of ability to make houses. What are the decisions that people are making that are keeping people in poverty?
Big thing we talked about, I think, was the family. And she's pregnant right now, 8 months pregnant with a little girl. And, you know, she's hoping for a better future for her little girl, looking for things that can make changes in the world that may make her daughter's life a little better. We work, we go to school, and all this stuff, but yet we're still, so as he said, the working poor, as hard as we may work, but we don't give up, we keep going and trying to make life a little better for our next generation.
I had a rough child growing up. My mom didn't want me at all, so I was in foster care all my life, and I came to Newark because I was in the foster home, going to foster home after foster home, and I graduated in the year 2000 from JVS, so I got my diploma and everything, and I work at Denison University for food service, and I just want to try to find a better, more jobs for anybody and help anybody out that needs it.
And I have learned so much from Dewan because I have not lived the kind of life that he has, and but the awareness that I have come to makes me realize, like Alan, that there are some systems in our society that are so unjust and so unfair. And I think sometimes people need a friend. And maybe if you can get one friend and change one person's world, it's the best you can do. That's what Mother Teresa always said, take one person. So DeWanda and I have had a nice friendship. And he knows all about landscaping. And my garden has never looked more beautiful. And I have a car, and so that's my help for him. He doesn't have any transportation, and like you said, is it Mary? Transportation is the biggest, one of the systems that keeps people down around here.
We had the paper food stamp things, and how embarrassing. I would go at midnight, and this because I was embarrassed. Now they got the card, it's not so bad. But I was standing in line Tuesday at the free produce out at the aging program, and all of a sudden now they've lined us up along the road where a lot of people commented on it, of how demeaning it was, that everybody's driving by seeing who's standing there getting free food. I mean, I'm grateful to the free food, don't get me wrong, but maybe a little more discretion.
I can work with them and make $16 an hour.
Anything to pass the drug test.
For 4 weeks. And then sure, sporadic work. You can make maybe some good money at it, but that doesn't help you on those off days. I gotta know that I've got a check every Friday. Maybe it doesn't. It's not going to make me rich, but it does keep the roof over the head.
Let's sort of discuss. We have an assignment.
That's it, Alan. Get us back on track.
Which is impossible, is to pick out 5 from that list. So maybe we should just say that.
Jimmy, because I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see it either. I think you can do them from memory pretty much and from experience. So the first one might be, the system's ability to make its extra resources available to people in poverty. That's
I
something.
like that. I like that.
We're just the type of family that my mom brought me up. Your child's not grown up until they're able to stand on their own 2 feet, So I have 3 grown children. Okay, who else do they have to turn to?
Right. Unfortunately, we all have to live together. Fortunately, we do it because everybody has to pay their share of the bills in order for us all to live. You know what I mean? It's
Sometimes it's how it has to be, is you have
Yeah.
to split it up and have all
It's
these people living there,
necessary.
is just because otherwise you can't afford it.
right, exactly.
Let it be known, like Bob, with his Social Security, he gets $16 food stamps a month.
Oh my gosh, what are you gonna get for $16?
That's a one-size-fits-all policy, right?
To me,
It's not worth
it's like, what?
And they were comparing families where the child had someone ask them about their day at school and how that made a difference in how the kid worked at school and what they did and if they graduated or not, compared to if they didn't get asked about their day or about school. And it was single mothers who were working full-time and minimum wage jobs were often too worn out to worry about discussing the teachers and the homework, and they were just, eat, go to bed, don't get in trouble. It's kind of their priority. And mothers who are maybe stay-at-home moms, work part-time, higher level, can afford a nanny, things like that. They're like, how was your day? How did you do? How was this teacher? Did you do your homework? How's math lessons? Those kids were the ones who went on to do it. And
So, what happens next? Obviously, talking about these things is amazing and it's a wonderful start. And these kinds of conversations need to be happening in every community, every week, around the country and around the world. Right?
It can't just be this small group of people that's going to try to make any kind of a change happen, right? We can all throw in what we can do, right? We all have busy lives and lots of commitments. So we don't want people to feel overwhelmed. We need more people who are willing to step up.
One of my obvious passions is the mental health and addiction. And even though it seems like there's a lot of services in the community, there really isn't. There's a lot of red tape that goes around those services. I've had friends who have relapsed. I have friends who have died because they haven't been able to get into a treatment center because their insurance won't cover it if they are no longer with the withdrawal. So that's definitely something that I'm very passionate about, is making sure I don't have any more friends die.
I would like to say that, when you start to look at crime, punishment, and poverty, they all fit together. And when people, like on Animal Planet, animals have basic instincts for survival. People are animals too, and when you take away the basic necessity of food, people get crazy, and they will do whatever they have to do to survive. So the next thing that comes is crime, because they're going to steal, they're going to rob, it's going to destroy communities, homes, families, and it's just a matter of time before it's in your backyard. I think that earlier they were talking about separate communities, and that's a yet. It's not there yet, but it may not infiltrate you in a form of poverty, but as a secondary response to the poverty, the crime, which affects you through taxes and many different things. I think this is a very important issue for our community.
The thing that sticks in my mind and the thing that I heard everyone talking about without using the word today was love, right? You're talking about your families, you're talking about your children, you're talking about your parents, you're talking about your communities. You wouldn't be here if there weren't people that you loved, if you didn't care about your community. And I know one of my mantras in doing the work that I do is that justice is what love looks like in public. That's a quote from Cornel West, and that's kind of my personal mantra, right? Justice is what love looks like in public. And so that's kind of what I heard you guys doing today. I heard a lot of talk about justice, and I want you to remember that it's tied to love, and it's tied to the love of your families and your community, and the people around you, and that's such a powerful thing that I can't wait to see what we can accomplish in a handful more weeks.
So I guess fly out where, put this new love to the test. And I will go where my soul leads, bringing victory or defeat. We are more than conquerors, headed out into this world, free from chains and strengthened now, 'cause His love is all around. We are more than conquerors, headed out into this world, free from chains and strengthened now, 'cause His love is all around. Free from chains and strengthened now, 'cause His love is all
At some point, conversation always frustrates me because I want to start acting. And so I'd like to see that happen eventually with this group. And keeping in mind that you got to find out who's throwing those babies in the river.